Morristown Township Council meeting for Monday, May 19th, 2014. You folks at home, don't adjust your television set. This is not the IT room. I'm going to start with my mayor's statement, then we're going to go to a moment of silence and a flag salute. After the flag salute, we ask that you remain standing for a blessing from our clerk, Patty Hunt. First, I'll read our statement. Notice this meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by posting a copy of the agenda on the bulletin board at the municipal complex, filing a copy of the agenda in the office of the township clerk at the municipal complex, forwarding a copy of the agenda to the Barnes County Times and Carrier Post, forwarding written notice to each person who has requested copies of the regular meeting schedule. All the above posting, filings, and mailings have taken place on the 15th day of May 2014. We have here our little flag. It's got some sentimental value, so don't make fun of it. The actual flag that we wanted to bring over is one of the original flags, but we're still, I guess it's still being unpacked and cleaned, so we didn't have it ready for today, but it will still work. So we're going to do a moment of silence, followed by a flag salute, followed by a blessing from Patty Hunt. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for Patty Hunt.
You'll just bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this glorious day and all your blessings, and most of all, your faithfulness. Father, your word promises to make beauty from the ashes, and today we are a testimony to your word. Father, we thank you for this beautiful building and ask your protection over it. Bless the hands that built it, those that serve in it, and all who enter into it. We ask your blessing upon the leadership of this community and upon each and every employee. May we always recognize our roles as public servants, and may we always serve the people of the community with honesty and integrity. Grant us wisdom, patience, and caring hearts so that we may serve with love and kindness. May the government and community strive to work together to bring about peace and harmony. In your holy name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Patty. We're going to mix up the order a little bit here, and we're going to go to just our council members. Just some brief remarks about our new home, and I'll be the first to start. You know, this is an extraordinary day, and it's a new chapter in our township. A new town hall, new library, are those things that help shape your community, and we're proud of this investment. It took a lot of work from a lot of people, and we got here. You know, going back years ago, we impaneled a blue ribbon panel made up of residents who had special, who had specific experience in the real estate construction business, commercial buildings, and we had them study every option from rehabbing the old town hall and library to building new here, building new someplace else, to rehabbing an old building someplace else, pretty much any type of option that could be discussed. They deliberated upon it for months and came back with one resounding conclusion that building this building and the library was the way to go. It was best for the residents. I firmly believe it was a great decision, and I stand by it. Does anybody else have anything to add about the building in Berlin? Mr. Newcomer.
You gotta hold that right.
Just some thoughts. This town hall and council chambers are the result of work of many hands. Many hands. The many town councils who have labored to find an answer that would work for many years. The planning board, appearance committee, sustainable Morristown, and other town committees and boards boards who have made positive contributions to the project's success, the many people who came to town hall meetings and contributed their opinions and ideas, such as the people tonight, the town hall planning committee who out-utilized their building and site expertise to formulate the basic plan to move us forward, as the mayor has said, Rick Reagan and Dan Nichols and Rob Notley of Greyhawk and other professionals designed, coordinated, engineered, and facilitated the project, and our township staff, township manager Scott Carew, finance director Tom Rochelle, township clerk Patty Hunt, and all of our staff who have worked through all the details as partners with our current town council and drove this project to completion. All these people have made this new town hall a place that will not only serve the people of our town, but our children's children as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Phil?
Well, you can't let the occasion go by without thanking all that were involved in the construction of this. This is a community effort that has been years in the making, and I think we all should be proud of it. The facility as a whole is going to be something that I think we will all be proud of. It'll be a destination for our downtown, and it's going to be just a renewing structure and a renewing thing for our whole community. So, good job, and glad to be here. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Phil. Stacy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm holding. All right, there we go. I just wanted to say that this is a project that's come a long way. It's been a long time that we've, as residents, have been waiting to have this building open. And I'm just excited to say that, Chris, you and I promised we made 4 years ago to make sure that this building was built and it's come to fruition. And I just want to say thank you to Wright Design, to Greyhawk, and Zombie Construction for all their hard work getting it done on time and under budget. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. And it's something, this is a building I think, you know, Morstonians for years and years and years to come will be very proud of. And I'm just happy to be a part of it, but more importantly, happy for our residents, because this is a true gem in our community.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And Victoria?
Well, you know, there's not a lot left to say, obviously. Obviously, thank you to all of our professionals, Reagan Design Group, Greyhawk, Zambi, and for all of our township employees who have put a lot of work into making this building happen. You know, it's very exciting to be here. I think we all kind of wondered if this was ever going to happen. It started to feel like a dream. And, you know, it's a beautiful building that's fitting of our community. You know, with so many spaces for collaboration and for people to, you know, accomplish new things. And I think as more and more of the building opens up and the library comes online, and, you know, we're going to learn all of the wonderful things about it. And so, again, thank you to everyone who made this happen, and we're so happy to be here.
And of course, we would be remiss without thanking the school board for allowing us to set up camp at the William Allen Middle School for a number of years, then the IT room at the high school. We thank them for allowing us to do that. And with that, we will move to what we call our workshop. And Scott, if you would take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First thing is, Council, we're going to have a class next Tuesday evening. You're all required to be there on how to work the microphones correctly. Staff were shown last week. You have to hold down the button. So, really not much else to talk about. I don't want to belabor the point of the building, but there's not too much else to talk about because it's really dominated the time for the last several weeks. And there will be plenty of time for me to say my thanks and give my praise when we have our grand opening, which will be when the library opens up. But there is still a lot of work to do. One person who wasn't mentioned, that he is in the building, that deserves as much credit as anybody, is Mike Schaefer from Greyhawk, who's trying to sit inconspicuously in the middle of the room. But Mike was the guy that was on site every single day, nights, weekends, making sure that everything was going well. So thank you, Mike. With that said, I'm going to pass the baton over to Rob Notley to bring everybody up to speed on where we are, because although we're in the building, we're operational, we have our TCO, we're still a little ways away from having the library operational. There's still some fine-tuning to do on the town hall side. And with that, I'll let Rob give his update.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you for mentioning Mike, who, yes, he is trying to hide in here, but, you know, I've been, I guess, the front man for most of this process, but Mike has been the guy doing all the heavy lifting. I just stand here and take the blame occasionally and take the credit when I can. As far as the status of the project, the TCO, which is a temporary certificate of occupancy for this side of the building, was received on Friday, right at the wire. We are currently, we haven't approved any new change orders since we last met, so we're still at about 2.5% on total change orders, which is inclusive of the $68,000 change for the environmental enhancements, which will be reimbursed through the Rutgers grant. So if we take that 68 out, we're still sitting right around 2%. We do have quite a stack of construction change requests from the contractor to negotiate, and that's going to be part of the closeout process that we'll be going through in the next month. The library, construction-wise, is pretty much done. At this point, we're just waiting on furniture. A little bit of a glitch right now with the furniture order, and I'm actually waiting for an update this week from the library director as to the ship date for that for the new furniture. And until we get that furniture in, we can't get a final certificate of occupancy for the entire building.
That's all I have for the workshop, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Thanks, Rob. Again, job well done. You know, everyone, Mike, Dan, Rick, and Rob. Scheduling items. Actually, not, pardon me. Let's do reports by members of council, starting this time with Victoria.
Just a couple items I wanted to bring up. Yeah, there's a learning curve with this. Since our last meeting, I had the opportunity to attend the Habitat for Humanity Restore grand opening. It's out on Route 73. Really check it out if you get the chance. They have secondhand furniture and also building supplies, and all of the proceeds go to support Habitat for Humanity. And you know, as a new homeowner, I plan on checking them out for supplies now and then. Also, last weekend was the Historical Society fundraiser to raise money for their accessible walkway from TD Bank over to the Smith Cadbury Mansion. It was a great time. I was Cinco de Mayo themed, a lot of fun. If you ever have the opportunity to get out to one of their events, I really recommend it. It was a lot of fun. And that's all I have to report.
Hey, Victoria, thank you. Deputy Mayor Jordan.
Just two things to report. Tomorrow night, the 20th, there'll be the tree committee meeting, and we'll be at the New Albany Rec Center. And then also on the 27th, EDAC will be meeting, and that will be at the Star Center.
Thank you. Greg.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Bill.
I too was at the Cinco de Mayo party, and it was a fun time. Beautiful home, and I will echo Victoria's plea for everyone to go out and support the events. Only thing I also have to report is we're going to have a planning board meeting on the 5th of June, and aside from that, nothing else to report.
Great, thank you. Last week was the Rec Advisory Committee meeting, which I serve on. It was a productive meeting. We discussed several things which will come down, which will be on our agenda later on in the spring and the summer. But one thing that did come up that I want to address, and it's not to dampen the mood of of being in a new building, but there's an issue with litter at the fields, and this has come up at several RAC meetings, and at Strawbridge Lake. It's disappointing after tournaments that you know the amount of litter that's left on the field. So you know, it's frustrating for our players. It doesn't look good for us when other towns come in and see you know, litter bottles, water bottles, and Gatorade bottles strewn all over the field when there's big new receptacles that were put up. So we need to come up with a plan. I know RAC is going to start figuring out a way whether it's a fine system or something, but RAC would like us also to start considering options for trying to make the coaches and the players understand they have to clean up after themselves.
Yeah, Chris, I remember back when I was on rec, we'd ask the coaches for each team to do a sweep at the end of the field, at the end of the game. Just do a total sweep, both teams, and maybe we should start to impress upon the team to do that again, too. It's
Good idea. Okay, moving to scheduling items. Does anybody have an item they want scheduled? Seeing none, we'll move to our upcoming meetings. At the Municipal Complex here at 111 West 2nd Street on June 9th, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. and again on June 23rd, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. Does anybody have any agenda updates? And if not, I'll accept the motion to adopt the consent agenda resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Patty, roll call?
Second.
Another second.
Yes.
Does that make 4?
Yes. Mr. Newcomer?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
yes.
Mr. Napolitano?
Yes.
Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Mayor Fiacchio?
Yes. All right, moving to presentations and proclamations. We have none now. Actually, I called this earlier, but Scott, your workshop, do you have anything for the people?
Perhaps just one more update on the new town hall. As you can see, Mr. Michelle's working and learning on the new system that we have that will controls both the audio and in the video. When I say video, I don't mean filming video, but I mean showing, displaying. So when we have budget workshops, especially in planning board and zoning board meetings, when there are plans for everyone to look at, professionals from, say, an applicant will be able to sit at the table, plug in their laptop, and everyone will be able to see the plans all around. You'll see 3 cameras across, right above the front row of the audience. Those will be filming cameras. Right now, they're set to be static in terms of just one shot, but there's a very sophisticated system in the donut room behind us, and fortunately for us, a request out to Lynn Sugars from the school district was fruitful, and there's a audio video club student who's going to come in, and Mr. Popowitz can train him or her to video where they'll be zooming and changing camera positions and really making it high-end stuff. Right now, we're ready to save that information, post it on the web, the videos. Once we have the new Comcast channel, we will be able to basically broadcast live, and I think with a delay. So still lots of things to come. It's going to take weeks, if not months, before we really all, Rick and Dan designed a very sophisticated building. It's probably going to take us all a little while before we really figure out how to make it run smoothly, but I just wanted to just fill everybody in on what they're looking at, so that's all I have.
Great, Scott, thank you. Let's move to the portion of the meeting called resident requests and presentations. This is when a member of the public can come up, make a request or a presentation for an item not listed on the agenda. The only thing we ask is that you state your name and your address.
And that's the center mic right there.
Todd Zimmerman, 123 Augusta Drive. In reference to last month's meeting, I had requested information about the conflict of interest, attorney billing for things relative to the Mend, and at that meeting, nobody seemed to know anything. However, Scott got back to me and said it was because Mr. Carlos's firm represents Mend as well. As per my question last month, can we get a list of all the conflicts that his firm has with the town and why we have to pay additional monies for the other council?
Well, I guess there's two parts to that answer. One, Cape Scott is a relatively large firm. I don't know how productive it would be for either us or for them to have them produce and us go over a complete list of every single client they have. I think as things come up that require legal attention, I have faith that Mr. Dralis would handle that appropriately. The second part of your question about extra cost, it's not extra cost. Mr. Dralis doesn't bill us for things that he has a conflict, and then the conflict attorney bills us. We're only using one attorney on every situation, so there is no additional cost. If it wasn't a conflict attorney, it would be, if there wasn't a conflict, Mr. Dralis would handle it. With the conflict, another attorney handles it, but it's only one attorney.
So is there any reason that no member of council or yourself knew at the last meeting about the conflict?
No particular reason, no.
Even though you already utilized the other attorney? But members of council and the town manager didn't know?
The conflict attorney was cured in that circumstance by Mr. Ford, as community development director who works with Matt. I have all the confidence in Mr. Ford to deal with that correctly, and he did. So there's no need to micromanage that situation.
And I thank you, Mr. Gordon, for pointing it out. I didn't know about it, and when you brought it up, it was a surprise to me. I thank you for bringing it up. That's good information. When you have a large reputable law firm representing you, they're in demand, and that's just the way of it. And we're going to deal with conflicts with this attorney or any other reputable attorney that practices this area of law.
I understand that, but like I said, it was unfortunate at the meeting that nobody knew about it.
I know about it now, but thank you. I do appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Yep, thanks, Mr. Gordon.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just because you didn't know about it does not mean that good law and good representation is not being given to the township. I don't see it being relevant. And also, for those of you who don't know, this town is run by the Faulkner Act. The five of us sitting up here are not going to our directors and directly telling them what to do and what they can't do. That's the township manager's job. We kind of guide and tell Scott where we'd like to see the town go, and then Scott is able to either do that or not do it. And we, as five people up here, do not micromanage. For those of you who like to micromanage, I'm sorry, that's not what we do here. But I have the utmost respect and confidence in what Scott does, and I know he's got the utmost respect and confidence in our directors. And so, because we don't know every little thing that happens in this town is not, I think it's actually a testament to how good our employees are.
Yeah. All great points. Any other residents that come up?
If I don't do this, you won't see this video because I'll have it removed from YouTube. Okay. I'm not going to give you my name. You know who I am. Okay. Right.
Patty, is that okay?
My name is Fred Sutton. I just want to know when the cameras and the ID system to the rec will be completed. And
I think they're working through their phone right now.
The ID system requires some in-house work from our IT supervisor, who has been working literally 10, 12-hour days for the last 3 weeks getting this building ready, and he still has a lot of work to do. And unfortunately, that's taken precedence, but it's certainly not something we've forgotten. And it will happen as soon as he can get to it.
okay, that's all. I'm awake. So.
Thank you, sir. Any other resident requests? Sir.
Pete Miller, 518 Devon Road. Well, congratulations, we're here, finally. Right? I guess a good question would be, maybe Scott, maybe perhaps when the infamous damn donut room is going to have a grand opening. I got a little tour there from.
I was in the donut room, and you've been speaking about it since I've known you, and there were no donuts in there. And now it's the only reason I went in there was that there were donuts.
We can share half, half pieces of
The donut room, the table's been sitting upstairs in the library for however many years. The old library. It still has to be put together. The furniture company that we use is going to come, spruce it up, make sure everything's looking sharp. And when we need to use the room, and what Pete's referring to is, behind us here is, and we are calling it the donut room, the sign in the hallway is proof of that, used for closed session. And also when we have a smaller meeting, say a workshop where we're not expecting a large audience, we can meet in there and have a productive work session. I don't see any meetings like that on the near horizon, so I will tell you, a lot of the other little things we're working on, that's not at the top of the list, although I'm looking forward to seeing the donut table put back together as well.
Right. I know as tradition, as it happened before, we'd have the workshop sessions in the donut room from 7:30 to 8, and then the council meeting started at 8, and then everything moved pretty smoothly then. So perhaps in January or whatever. I know you mentioned that before, but
yeah, we'll see how. I mean, the cadence of the meetings are an ever-evolving thing. I think since I've been here, agendas have changed a couple times in terms of putting stuff in, taking stuff out. And that's really up to council how they want that to occur. If it's not a long workshop, it might be disruptive for everyone to get up and go in your room and then come back. But I'm sure we'll make good use out of it.
okay, that's good. And as far as a clarification, Phil, the next planning board meeting is not here though, right? It's still the high school? Because it was, the notice was sent out for the high school, so it has to still be there.
Oh, Phil, you're going back to the high school.
All right, so I guess we gotta wait till July, Phil.
Thanks for pointing that out to us, though.
Don't worry, Phil, we can bring our chairs with us. Yeah.
The reason for that is due to the fact that some of the applicants had already given notice
Okay.
with regard to the location, so. Further.
Yeah, 'cause I know it was out, and I'm thinking, okay. And then as far as maybe a more important note, I just came from Zelli Field. My boy was playing baseball, but as far as the basketball court there, are we looking at any designs or looking into, I know, I see it's lower than the tennis court, so is there any thought processes of bringing the basketball court back, or?
It's being discussed at RAC. There is interest to do it. I'm certainly interested in it.
Right.
It takes a lot more, but it's definitely an idea that's being kicked around at RAC, and you have to come up with costing. It's one of those things where somebody wants to take it on, but they have to follow certain rules about engineering. But how do they go about doing that if they're going to do it on their own? So there's some details to be worked out, but stay tuned on that.
Okay, thank you.
Pete, as well, as I was in rec, as long as that ground over there is very, very difficult. So we'll have to be a part of that, working that out.
Right.
I think it's a good idea to.
Yeah, I was standing on it, and there's the tennis courts are here, and I mean, obviously something is happening, so it was a good idea to.
Yeah, don't stand there too long.
Yeah.
It was brought up in a recent meeting by another resident. There is a significant sinkhole problem, and that's why we took it out. So there is as Greg said, a significant amount of engineering, a lot of due diligence needs to go into it. And I know RAC is discussing it. I mean, I think that there's a lot of different things that need to be looked at. And one thing we're trying not to do is rush into any project. And it's funny because, almost ironic that I say that we're sitting in a building that took 7 years to build. And part of that was because, for the first 4 years, 3 years, decisions weren't made or they were made and changed. But there has to be a balance between being, making that decision moving forward, but not rushing and missing something. I mean, I think we need to get the residents who are adjacent to that basketball court involved in the discussion. We have to, really look at in terms of numbers, because it is a significant expense. Because of the sinkhole problems, you have the expense of the engineering. There might be a large expense with the construction to fix whatever's causing the sinkholes.
Well,
Until it's engineered, we don't know.
it was discussed at RAC that several years ago, a number of $300,000 was kicked around, so we can only assume it's going to be more now.
Yeah, when you have a sinkhole like that, it's very difficult. And it's not necessarily a sinkhole, but it's unevenness underground. It's very difficult to deal with.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Well, hello, everyone on council. Good to see you. You may not be happy to see me, but Anyway, I'm really happy to be here. I'm not here that often anymore because the baby's so noisy. Once he gets a little older, you'll see me a little more. But anyway, it's wonderful, and I'm glad to see that you have a spot, Tom.
Real quick, Mrs. Sullivan.
There's the phrase kicking and screaming.
Oh, okay.
Real quick, name and address.
Oh, yes, Kathy Sutherland, 417 North Church Street, Morristown. I know my husband, he's really upset about people photographing him. Okay, well, I would like to be 30 pounds thinner. Okay, but anyway, there is an issue with that. I know that you guys have discussed it, but I haven't been able to be here, so I'll make it very brief. Number one, when a person has to give their name and address, they're being totally identified. So therefore, there's it's a security issue. That's what it is. Pardon?
Privacy.
That's right, thank you. Privacy issue. So technically, I can ask you to turn that off because I've given my name and my address. So I'm asking you now to turn it on. Are you going to turn it off? Okay, then we'll take care of it online. My husband, so he's actually denying me my privacy. So I'm not going to push it, but I'm just saying that it is a privacy issue. And that before they do things like that, you need to dot all your T's and cross your T's and dot your I's. But what I am saying is there are many issues that have to be, they put it on YouTube the last time we were on here. And by the way, my husband had it taken off, all of it. And we'll have this taken off too. Because, as I said before, when I'm being photographed, and then I have to say my name and address, which I have to, I have the right to my privacy. Okay, let's get off of that for now. We have a lot of problems in this town, and I understand that there was a big issue about smoking. Well, I don't smoke, haven't smoked for 35 years. And I don't think that there's a lot of cigarette butts out there Strawberry Lake, because every time I go out there, which is kind of frequently, I don't see a bunch of cigarette butts. But anyway, there are more important issues in this town than who smokes cigarettes at Strawberry Lake. And I can't talk about them now because I'm on camera. So then that forces me to talk to people, to make appointments to talk to people. So that actually is infringing on my rights to be open and honest. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I just address the smoking? I did talk to the Girl Scouts, Mary Ellen DeMille, who is the head of the South Jersey Girl Scouts, because we talked about not making a law, but having a campaign. And so we're going to work with the Girl Scouts to do a campaign to stop smoking. Like you said, I haven't seen a lot of smoking at our recreation facilities, but it's a great thing for the Girl Scouts to do, and it'll be a great project for them to do. So we're working with them.
Okay.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and thank you, Mrs. Sutherland.
Okay, thank you. I have to go.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. I'll be back.
Monique Beck, 209 Parry Drive. I have more difficulty hearing now than I had in the other building, but I'm sure there'll be some adjustment to that, and it will become easier as time goes. I want to say that I'm very happy to be in this building. It is beautiful. It is, so it will be here for generations to come, I think, and that's what public buildings should be. They're not built for 40 years. They're built to last. I want to say that yesterday afternoon, as I usually do, I meet with children in the community in the meeting house. Most of them are children that need help from the community. They're from poor families. And we were discussing the importance. We spent a little time discussing the importance of participating in the public debate in your community, in your nation, in your state, and wherever you think that your voice should be heard because you have an issue that is important to be heard. And one of the children, a 13-year-old 7th grader, said, "Miss Monique, it doesn't really matter. Government doesn't listen to us. But I still think that they will always listen to us, but we should always speak and say what we have to say. And that occasionally you are listened to and something happens over time of the issues that people press. So I wanted to impress this upon the children, that their voices count. This is why I still am very interested in seeing that there are 2 opportunities for the public to be able to speak on issues, you know, at the beginning and towards the end of the meeting. I think that's important. That I'm just one voice, so I don't know that everybody has to agree with me, but I believe that this is important and I would like this to be continued, even though it makes the meeting longer. I understand that, but I still think it's important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Begg, and you're right. Democracy takes participation and work, and you're right, you have to participate for it to work. Any other residents like to come up?
Mr.
Hold on. Sir?
Mike Locatel, 526 East Main Street. That's a little short here. I just wanted to thank you guys, particularly Chris and Stacy. 4 years ago, you promised to resolve this issue of Town Hall. And it's beautiful. I had a chance to go through the whole building today, and I think it meets our needs for generations. You know, Rick and his team did a great job. Greyhawk stepped up and did a great job. I mean, this thing was literally stuck in a quagmire when you guys got on council, and I just want to recognize your efforts. I know it wasn't easy. There was a lot of wrestling, even within, you know, the members of council back then. And you guys, you knocked it out of the park. You did a great job, and I just, you know, wanted to say that tonight.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Okay, we will move to...
Mr. Mayor, I wanted to say something at this time because Sandy McGuire had called me and she asked if she had not been attended, if she could speak about the Dave Gentili Park, which we were going to move forward as regards to, we had a skate park that had a name for him, and we had to take down the skate park. And we've been suggesting different ways. She has said to me...
Hey, Greg, I don't mind, would you mind covering this in new business?
No.
I'm sorry, I mean, this way we can
knock
out some of the...
Yeah.
This is important, I want to bring up some things that we discussed at RAC, okay?
It was as a proposal, that's why I brought it up, so fine.
Absolutely, thanks, Greg. We will go with, just to get some things out of the way before we get back to that, Greg. Ordinances on second reading, Mr. Manager, you would read them by title.
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. It's, ordinance 2-2014, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for NJSA 40-45.14. And just to remind council and members of the audience that this ordinance is required annual, basically house cleaning. We have a huge cap bank for our appropriation cap, and we are adding to that. We are not coming near exceeding it.
Okay, so it's more procedural more than anything. I'd like to open let's open the public hearing. Anyone to come forth and express any concerns or questions regarding ordinance 20-2014? Seeing none, I'll close it. Council, comments? Oh, I'm sorry, motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays or abstentions? None. Council, any comments or motion to adopt? Motion to adopt.
Second.
How do you roll call?
Yes.
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 Yes, thank you, everyone. Consent agenda, resolutions, Mr. Manager, if you read by title.
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. Usually you have to worry about my voice giving out during this, but now I also have to worry about my thumb giving out. I'm going to be holding the button for so long. First is 103-2014, accepting the resignation of Susan Ambrose from the Recreation Advisory Committee. Next, we have 111-2014, accepting the resignation of William Hannon from the Tree Planting and Preservation Committee. We have 112-2014, appointing Jeff Schneider to the Recreation Advisory Committee. 113-2014, approving person-to-person, place-to-place transfer of plenary retail consumption license number 0322-33-005-001, East Gate Acquisition, TIC 5 LLC to BWW Jersey Wings, Inc., also known as Buffalo Wild Wings. 114-2014, approving fee proposal from Mac Cali Realty Corporation in the amount of $479,97.97 to furnish all labor, material, equipment, and supervision in connection with the construction of the municipal court office to be located at 1245 North Church Street. 115-2014, authorizing the cancellation of certain water and sewer charges, and 116-2014, authorizing the tax collector to refund tax overpayment.
Okay, thanks, Scott. I'd like to open the floor for public comment on any of those consent agenda resolutions. If you have a question, come forth, state your name and address and your question or comment.
Board Member 123 Augusta Drive. In reference to the courtroom additional $59,000 for the construction, has it been considered to ask St. Vincent to build a room there?
Yeah, good question.
What was their response?
Go ahead, but that's a good question. I didn't see any question.
It hasn't been asked for.
Yeah, a lot of good questions this week.
Bob, you and I have synergy today. I mean, maybe we should.
It hasn't been asked for them to build a room. They don't have the room, but it was asked. We did look in when we made the agreement to hold the court sessions there to see if they had the room for our staff, and they don't.
How long is it anticipated that we're going to be in the present? Well, they're going to be moved to the police station out there. How long will they be there that we're spending the $60,000 for?
I would say at a minimum 2-3 years. It still hasn't been decided what the permanent home is going to be for the police and the court. When that decision's made, it's at this point only one of several possibilities. They stay where they are. We renovate an existing building, or we build a new building. Those are really the three options. And in the first scenario, obviously they'll stay there. And the second and third scenario, and the construction and design professionals are here, you'd be talking 2-3 years minimum, Rick?
Yes, that's right.
Was there a cost analysis done as relating to not having it here in this building?
Yeah, it was done 2 years ago when the court was pulled out of the design of this building.
It was more expensive to build here?
Yes, because the court requires significant security measures. The dais would have to be bulletproof. We'd have to have judges' chambers. We'd have to have the extra room. It was decided back then by, except for Chris and Stacy, a different council, to take that out. And to be honest with you, my personal opinion is, as the manager, that in terms of functionality, it's much better for the the court to be with the police and not with the administrative offices.
Thank you.
Any other residents with any comments regarding the consent agenda resolutions? If not, do I close it by motion? I'll close that portion and move the comments by council or a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Patty, roll call.
Mr. Mayor Como?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Napolitano?
Yes.
Ms. Jordan?
Not all, but 103-2014.
Yes, for all those. Do you vote no or abstain on?
Vote no.
I'm sorry,
Vote no on 103-2014.
Mayor, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Moving to minutes, there are none. And approve the expenditures. Council, any questions, comments about the expenditures or a motion to approve?
Page 3, $46,200, Tom. I just wondered if that is, again, for PSE&G covering 1 month?
I think it's 2 months.
2 months, thank you.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, Patty.
Who seconded it?
I think Greg did. Yep.
Mr. Nicola?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Palatano?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Mayor Dion?
Yes. Moving to new business. Now, Greg, let's discuss David Gentili and the ideas to remember him.
Well, as you know, Sam has been very interested in continuing a memorial for David Gentili. She said that she wanted to report that she felt a kind of memorial for David, such as at the tennis court, which I understand may have been discussed at the tennis courts at Maple Dawson, and just in that area might be a very good thing. And I just wanted to report that. She had said that to me, and she asked me to carry that to council.
Thank you. Yeah, that was discussed in RAC. That, and there was another idea that was discussed, and I wanted clarification. For all of you in the audience that don't know, Dave Gentili was a football athlete in town who was injured playing a football game back in the early 80s. I knew David both before the injury and after the fact, and his parents had paid for the skate park that we had to eventually demolish because of the repairs and the upkeep of it. And we've been trying to figure out a way to remember David, and all he did. You know, he served on RAC and other committees while paralyzed, and he did a number of great things. And certainly somebody who is a role model of overcoming adversity. What was discussed at the RAC meeting was the tennis courts, but also dedicating a football game to him, which I thought was really a neat idea. I'm not sure how it sits with his family since he was injured playing a sport, but Sandy seemed to indicate that there might not be a problem with it. RAC essentially agreed that it was a great thing that if we could dedicate a football game to him each year to just remember him and what he did, and to remind the kids of the dangers of sports. Would be a great thing. So I think that's where we left it. We're waiting to hear back from Sandy, but I appreciate you bringing it up. Greg, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Anybody? Okay, moving to old business.
Really, it's been town hall all day, all night, every day, all weekend. Staff was here, a good part of the staff was here for a good part of the weekend. The other person I just want to, I mean, a lot of people have done a lot of work for this project, but the one person I would like to point out and give my appreciation to is John Polkowitz, who has been in this building more than anybody, except for probably Mike, for the last couple of weeks. I went shopping at Wegmans last night at 9 o'clock. His car was in the driveway. I desperately wanted to be the first person at work on the first day. I was here 7:30 this morning. John was already here working, and there's a lot to do. Phone systems, computers, everything has to be set up. Plus, all the incredible technology that Rick and Dan designed into the building obviously requires John's attention as well. So I want to just give thanks to John. Other than that, the staff is going to be continuing to unpack, set up, get situated, and serve the public as best we can.
Okay, thank you, Scott. And I guess we'll just call it your manager's report as well. Yeah. All right, and now we'll go to comments from the public for items listed on the agenda. If you come up and make a comment about something on the agenda, come forth and speak your name. Come forth and give your name and address, and make your comment. Sure.
Good evening. Edwin Bank, 209 Parry Drive. 13 words. Stark County. Nice things. Looks good. Worth the wait. Thanks, council, staff, Mr. Reagan, Greg Hawk.
Mr. Greg.
Well, between Mr. Beg's comments and these microphones, they have to buzz in on. I feel like we're doing Jeopardy, not a council meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. Beg. I appreciate that. Any other residents?
He likes. Just one. Here we go. Something here. All right. Just one thing. I was remiss in thanking. I missed thanking one person. That was Scott Carew. Scott, you did so much to get this building moving forward and having it ready. And I personally want to thank you for all that you did. I know we mentioned the staff. Everyone has done a great job. Tom, Mr. Moneyman over there, keeping track of everything. But Scott, you have been the real driver, and I really want to thank you for all of your hard work. And you kind of got thrown into the middle of it, when you first came to work here. And I think you sorted it out beautifully and gave us a great product. So thank you.
Victoria.
I'll just add that Scott made a very good point in thanking John Polkowitz. He has really put a lot of work into this building. When the TNT committee recommended last year to hire him, one of their primary reasons was because they knew he would be someone who would be able to help us transition into town hall smoothly and with all the technology that we expected. And it seems like things are working out pretty well so far, and so he does deserve that thanks. And other than that, welcome to Town Hall. Thank you for coming out tonight, and please keep coming out to meetings in the new Town Hall.
Thank you, Victoria. Phil.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and just a nice reminder that next Monday, Memorial Day, there's a service at 9:45 at Memorial Park. For those of you who may not have attended that, it's one of the GEMS services that we have in town, and it's really a time for us all to take pause as Americans and thank people for the ultimate sacrifice of giving their lives for this country. So with that being said, show up at 9:45 Memorial Park. It's a great one. And thank you for coming out. Great digs. Have a good night.
Thanks, Phil. Greg.
Just wanted to kind of echo some of the things that said. We point out the fact that Reagan designed, Dan Nichols and Rick Reagan, Rob Notley and Mike are people I've attended a lot of that involved this building, and they have done a great job. Sustainability is something that's incorporated in this building. We have solar lighting, a solar tube light actually, which allows solar vents upstairs into the hallways. Natural light doesn't cost a cent. We have solar panels on this building that is unique, and the first time in Morristown it's ever been done. Actually, it heats water so much it had to be restricted, which is pretty unique. So it's just a wonderful job these guys have done.
Thank you, Greg. I just want to say thanks for everybody coming out. Have a safe trip home, and we are not going to close session. So the meeting, I'll take the motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
In favor? Aye. Abstentions? Ayes.
Aye.
Thanks, folks. Have a good night.